What's up, Acadiana, and welcome to Offsides. I'm Shannon Wilkerson, here with Brandon Comeaux. Thanks for joining us for today's broadcast. It's 4:06. We'll be with you until 6 o'clock. Hope everybody is being safe outside. Looks like the skies are getting kind of dark, and so there's going to be some bad weather rolling through Acadiana. So if you are listening, please drive safely.
Yep, and as you say that, the lightning is striking here at the KPEL News Center, so yep, please be careful as you're out and about. Of course, this morning we had the whole situation at Ambassador and Dulles where you had the hazmat situation. That caused a bunch of traffic delays and a bunch of issues for people that lived in that area. Fortunately, the power is back on for the people in that area.
What a mess.
Hopefully it doesn't get knocked out again by this weather, but yeah.
Well, that would be bad.
Yeah, it would
That would be bad. So, of course, I saw you this past weekend at the Louisiana Outdoor Expo.
Yeah.
That was fantastic.
It was awesome, man.
What a great event. It'd been many, many years ago, and I hadn't been since. And so this was the first time I was able to walk around there and enjoy it in many years. That's really impressive.
And Cajun Harley was well represented there.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, man, one of the coolest displays with the bike that y'all had out there. What do you call it? The jump start?
The jump start.
The
that's
jump
right.
start. I got to jump on that and start the Harley.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah,
man.
it's cool because you can get on there and go through the gears and feel it. If you've never ridden before, you know, a lot of people are intimidated with the idea of getting on a bike because they might fall over. And so that's a really good tool to get people on and be able to go through the gears, show them how the clutch and the shifter work and everything without the worry of it falling over and injury or death.
Well, and that's obviously a good way to describe what was going on in the sense of being careful. But yeah, I like it because, you know, there really is a lot of things. If you haven't ridden on a Harley before, there really is quite a few things that you have to go through to get it going. Just things that for a normal Harley rider is just like second nature to them.
And it's the same with all bikes.
Yeah, same with all bikes.
Yeah, it is.
And it was so cool, man, like getting a chance to get on there. And again, like you said, not having to worry about trying to balance the thing while you're learning how to operate it.
Sure.
And I can now say that I've been on top of a Harley Davidson, man. It was cool.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And it was a lot of fun to be out there seeing all the vendors, and I didn't know that there was so many different duck calls.
Oh, my gosh. And by the way, my father-in-law had to hear every single one of them.
Oh, and boy, they are loud.
Yes, they are, because that's where I was set up at, where I was making the announcements. So sometimes when I get on to make the announcement, they would start going crazy with the duck calls. So then my father-in-law comes in the area, and he's fascinated with the duck calls and the turkey calls and whatever else calls they had.
Yeah.
And he would go up to the booth and say, okay, demonstrate how that one sounds.
Yeah.
And then that one.
And then that one, right.
And then that one.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, come on.
Yeah, and a lot of them sound very much alike if you're not familiar with it.
Yes.
You know, so tell me what that, and they say, well, this is this and this kind of duck, and okay, do the next one. It's the same duck to me.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the exact same. Quack.
Yes.
Okay, this duck quacks like this, and that duck quacks like that. I just hear quack.
Yes.
But very, very impressive operation out there. So, of course, I want to extend congratulations to Town Square Media. Great job putting that together.
It was beautifully well run. We have some people in this building that have done an amazing job. Too many to name because it really does take a team effort, man.
Oh, we'd take up all 2 hours.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Okay, so listen, I witnessed something. I know we do a lot of conversations here on Offsides about parenting and parenting skills and children and their behavior and whatnot. But I witnessed something recently that I thought that I'd bring up that I think that you and our listeners will find interesting. And, okay, so here's what happened. I'm in a place of business recently. And in this place of business, there was a box there, a box of toys, like a cardboard box, a big one. And it looked to be some type of a promotion where people would come and bring toys for children who don't have toys or need more toys. And so a woman came in. And she had her son with her. And this boy seemed to be maybe about 8 years old or so. And so the woman is speaking to the receptionist there. And the boy gets into the box, crawls into the box with all the toys. And so a gentleman that worked there, young man, approached the boy and said, I'm sorry, son, you're going to have to get out of the box. Okay, that you can't be in there with all the toys. And he ignored him. And so then the gentleman that approached him said again, and he was being very polite. He said, listen, son, really, I'm going to need you to get out of there. Could you please get out of there? And the boy looked up to him and said, yes, I'll get out, maybe. Okay. And so the gentleman again was like, all right, now I've got a real problem. Okay, that's what it looked like. And he said, son, please, I really need you to get out. Well, then the mother took notice of the situation and then took issue with this gentleman that was speaking to the boy and said, excuse me, sir, I'm the adult here. Speak to me. And so the gentleman then spoke to her and said, ma'am, I need your son to get out of this box. So, okay, I've asked him 3 times. Long story short, I found it very interesting because I am seeing these kinds of videos on YouTube a lot, and people post them on social media. And what I'm curious about is in a public setting and in a business environment, retail, office building, it doesn't matter. At what point do the people that work there need to step in when the parent refuses to parent? Okay? Because at some point, you've got a responsibility to the operation or to the place of business and to the other customers or co-workers there to really do something about it if the parent refuses to do it.
Because, in your story, it sounds to me like multiple things happen. For one thing, it taught her son that it doesn't matter what he does, she's going to take up for him whether he's right or wrong, but especially if he's wrong. Another thing it said was that she showed the man, for taking issue with him, she showed the man disrespect after the man was trying to nicely tell her son, look, you are in a position that you do not need to be in. You could break something. You need to move and get out. And when he sassed the man still was polite, did not lose his cool, and the woman took issue with the man and not with her son, who was clearly in the wrong.
That's right. When it should not have happened in the first place. Yeah. Okay, she should have. That's the thing. She should have seen what the boy was doing and not allowed it because it was right there. Yeah. Okay, it wasn't like it wasn't visible to where the woman was. It was right there in the same area, and so she certainly saw what he was doing. And so I'm seeing more and more of this. And here's my thing. I'm a big mind your own business person.
Right.
Okay, and I try to practice that a lot. Okay, but when your child is misbehaving to the point that it's disruptive in the area that other people are, well, then if they speak up, they are in fact minding their own business.
Right.
Okay, because the woman is, if the parent refuses to parent and then the child is disruptive in any way, then people that speak up are in fact minding their own business because then it's become their business because it has become their annoyance, their aggravation.
Well, yeah, and look, you were telling me off the air, I believe it was, that the toys were being raised for like a toy drive.
Yeah.
So if the boy's in there and if he ends up breaking those toys, well, they can't go to their intended use, to kids that are really in need of those toys.
That's right.
And so it does become everyone else's business around because the community is who donated those toys and had those toys put in there. It reminds me, Shannon, of another story back when I used to work in the grocery business, and there was a woman that came in with 2 teenage boys. Now, I was about 19. I was about 20, 21 at the time. So still very young, but the 2 boys came in. They were about 16, 17 years old, and they start horsing around with each other. And they start horsing around so much that they are knocking themselves into displays that I've built. Okay, these are displays that I've built. So they're doing that.
Now we know the real aggravation.
Oh yeah. Well, no. Besides that, the other aggravation was that the security guard was standing over there and didn't do a dang thing.
Oh,
not a dang thing. He just watched. So I went to the 2 boys and said, "Y'all need to stop before y'all knock something down. There's a lot of hard work that went into putting those displays up." Well, what happens? The 2 boys want to fight with me. Okay, so they both look at me and say, well, you want to fight with me? And they start talking trash and saying words I can't say in the air. And so I said, y'all really need to calm down and chill out. And I look at the mom expecting, hey, am I going to get some kind of support from you on this to get them to chill out?
Yes.
And she comes at me and starts fussing with me. And I said, Mel, you better control your boys. I do not want to have to start fighting with them here in the store.
Right.
And so what ends up happening is a cashier sees what's going on. She calls the manager. The manager comes to the front. And so the lady starts telling the manager that I was picking a fight with the boys and all this stuff. I mean, she starts making up a bunch of things.
Right.
So then I have to end up having to talk with the manager later on about the whole thing because he was kind of new and he didn't know what he was doing.
Well, let me ask
himself.
you. Not that this matters, but I'm just curious. Were there surveillance cameras?
Oh, yeah, there's surveillance cameras.
Okay, yeah.
Which would have caught it.
That's always great. That's always great because then you could just say, hey, look.
Yeah.
Don't take my word for it.
Yeah.
Just press rewind.
Which is
and
why,
play.
I told him, I said, okay, I get that you're being cool with the customer, but I'll show you on camera later if you need me to.
Well,
and so I mean, it was just crazy. That was like my first experience. To this horrible parenting.
Yeah, and it's people using the customer is always right excuse to behave the only way that they want to, or the only way that they want to. And they don't care if they're insulting other people. They don't care if they're aggravating other people. In fact, I've seen behavior like this where people have videoed it and then they have posted it to social media where it looks like they are intentionally trying to provoke somebody. And so intentionally taking advantage of the situation to create a scene. 232-1542, the Cajun Harley hotline, if you want to jump in and tell us what you think about this. Now, I've also witnessed this many times at restaurants. Where the children are being loud and disruptive. In some cases, running around the restaurant up and down the aisle, and the parents are just having their comfortable conversation, just talking and ignoring the entire situation, completely oblivious to what their children are doing and ruining other people's meals and their restaurant experience. And it's awkward then as the manager. All these situations are awkward for the manager. They're awkward. And
the workers that have to deal with it.
And the workers, absolutely.
On the floor.
Absolutely. And I'm fortunate to where I have never worked in an environment where children have been any type of a problem. Now,
although I'm sure you had people that acted like children.
I was getting ready to say, I've been joking for years that, dealing with drunks is just like dealing with children. The difference is you can't throw children out. You can't grab the child and throw them through the door. Let's go to the phone lines.
All right, 232-1542. Caller, you're on the Cajun Harley hotline. Go ahead.
Just imagine that you're a school teacher and you got 2 or 3 of these in your classroom. This is a retired teacher of 40 years. That's one of the big reasons why we're having a tough time recruiting anybody to be new teachers. I hope it changes, but until people parent their children like they're supposed to, I have my fears.
I hear you, and you're absolutely right. We hear a lot of feedback just like that from teachers that are regular listeners, and the difference here. And I'm not disagreeing with you because the teachers are definitely put in a similar situation. The situations that we are describing are ones where the parent is right there the entire time. A lot of times the teachers have these problems, and the parents have no idea what's going on. They don't, and then they're informed about it later, but they don't witness it. I think that it's worse when they're witnessing it and still don't do anything about it. But thanks for the call.
Yeah, thank you, sir. 232-1542. I think, and as soon as he said it, I thought, oh, yep, that's a great point as well. Because, in a teacher, when they're in a position of authority and they're trying to correct the child, and then the parent comes back later and takes up for the child, I can't imagine how frustrating that must be for them as well.
Right.
But, especially in a situation like this, and like you said, restaurants, stores, other businesses, where parents see it going on and they just don't do anything about it. And it's basically left up to the host. I mean, the people that are working in that place of business.
Oh, yeah.
This is like their house, and someone's coming in and disrespecting them, and they're trying to be nice about it.
I got to tell you, I wouldn't, and maybe it's better that I'm not in that industry or that part of that industry or in a situation like that because I would likely create a worse situation because I'm just saying what my opinion is. I don't think that I would be patient with that at all. I would go straight to the parent and say, you need to get your children, you need to leave right now. Now, in most cases nowadays, that creates a bigger scene.
Oh, my gosh.
Because now the parents create scenes, which I'm seeing all over social media as well. People yelling and screaming and knocking things off of counters and just having a complete come apart, and just behaving like children having tantrums. And
which is where the children learn it from.
Which is exactly where the children learn it from. You're right.
All right. We go back to the phone lines. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I got one for you.
Okay.
I used to live overseas and traveled a lot back to the U.S. How about a couple kids running up and down the aisles on a big airplane?
Oh, little Jeffrey. Okay, remember Bill Cosby's himself, and he talks about the kid on the plane, little Jeffrey?
Guys, I was on a flight out of the Middle East back into Houston. We had a couple kids, and I pushed the call button, and I said, if one of these kids fall and hit an armrest and bust their head open, this pilot going to land this plane?
Yeah, that's right. Your entire trip could have been derailed.
Yeah, I told him, I said, either you can go tell the pilot or I'm going to go tell him.
What'd they do?
They stopped it immediately.
That's good. How old were the kids?
They have no choice but to stop it.
How old were the children?
Probably 5.
Oh man! You see, you got to give those.
Yeah, I mean, it was out of control, and you know, being a person as loudmouth as I am, you know, I mean, I lived overseas, and all it takes is one incident, that kid busts their head open.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden now he's bleeding like a fool. What's going to happen?
Well, and look,
they're going to have to land.
And look, on the planes, it's an even more serious environment than the ones that we've talked about so far, stores, schools, and such. I mean, if you step out of line in a plane, you're going to have the whole crew
absolutely
fussing at you. The stewardesses, everybody's going to fuss at you if you get out of line.
Look, it's simple. You just give those kids some cough syrup. Okay? I'm not kidding you, all right? All right, you as soon as you get on the plane, you give them both some strong cough syrup. We'll wake you up when we get there.
All right, thank you, caller. 232-1542. We'll go ahead and take this quick commercial break. When we come back, more of your thoughts as we talk about bad parents and their kids that they have. And welcome back into Offsides, Brandon and Shannon. Be careful if you're outside as the rain has started falling here at the KPEL News Center. If you're out and about on the roads, just please be careful. The roads are the most dangerous right after that rain has started falling. All right, 232-1542 as we're talking about bad parents, and we've given some stories of situations where kids have been acting up, and the worker within the place that the kid is acting up confronts the child, and the parent takes up for that misbehaving child and basically, you know, gets into an argument with the adult that is trying to, you know, bring some order to the situation. And so we wanted to talk about with you at 232-1542. Phone lines are lit up right now, so let's get some callers involved. You're on the Cajun Harley Hotline. Caller, go ahead.
Gentlemen, some years ago, I have actually had the pleasure of doing a couple Christmas seasons at Toys R Us.
Oh, God help you.
I know. Well, it was a good deal. It was a challenge. It was fun. I got to get all the jump on the new hot toys right up front. But I would have to say somewhere around 70% of the problems started out with the parents in a major toy store like that, like Toys R Us. And either the child was having the issue and the parent wouldn't handle the problem, or the parents were actually causing the issues themselves.
All right, question. What would Toys R Us do about it?
Well, what I did was I took to where my bouncing technique is I usually make, like, the drunks look more like an idiot than anything, and they usually want to calm down because they get a complex that they have this sense of inferiority if they're confronted, and they don't want to be embarrassed. So Toys R Us really didn't do anything about it unless they were really acting up bad. Then we had security, had to escort them out the door. That wasn't that many occasions, but mostly when they wouldn't calm down, they would throw more of the fit than the children would do. I would say that I was going to go over to the nearest telephone and embarrass them over the PA system over the whole store.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And yes, so
that's
they would rather kind of calm down or know everybody in the store knows that the parents are having a problem.
Would you ever have to ask them to leave? And if so, would they?
I did, yes. I've had to ask them a few parents.
Did any of them refuse to leave?
I know of 2 sets of parents that did not want to leave and refused to leave. That's where we had to call the manager and security, yes.
Wow.
But most of the times they would rather not be embarrassed. And it also depends, you know, that gentleman you were talking about, he was nice, he was polite, he did the best that he could to diffuse the situation, but the parents would not take care of it. So that, that's kind of difficult. You do the most that you can and diffuse it the best way that you can. But if not, you're there for your business to make money and nothing get destroyed.
I'll tell you something. When I was a child, and I know that I speak for my older brothers as well, because it went for all of us. Whenever we went anywhere, okay, all right, when we were en route or when we had arrived there, before we went in, we would get the pre-entry lecture. Okay, I'll call it. And it was basically my mother or my father or both of them saying, all right, boys, now look, we're going to go in here. We're going to have dinner. You need to watch your manners. There was just a little pregame, okay? But it worked because it got everybody thinking before you went running out of the car because you're excited. You're a child. You're going to do something. You're excited. And there was some ground rules. There are different rules for different places, okay? And it always, if we were in like a store or anything like that, the rules always ended with, and you can't have anything, okay? Don't ask for anything, all right? And so that was just to stop us from, hey, can we have this? Can we have that? Can we have this? Now, a lot of times that wasn't always true. We would get things, but if they didn't say that, we would wear it out. And
they
say,
set the expectations low.
They set the expectations very low. That's exactly right. Expect nothing because you'll get nothing.
Yes, 2 words that were told to me and my brother, and we got it. Behave yourselves.
Behave yourselves.
That's all that was said.
Sometimes that's all it was. And you know what I'm talking about, the pregame. Sometimes that's all it was. All right. Now, look, we're going in here. Behave yourselves. All right. And that meant, well, I'm watching you. And that also meant, don't tell me you forgot because I reminded you.
Yeah. And we knew that if we did any kind of cutting up in any business, because, again, we were representing them as parents. So they didn't want us embarrassing them. They didn't want us embarrassing ourselves.
Yeah.
We knew that if we misbehaved, we were coming home to the skateboard paddle, the one I told you about.
Oh, yeah.
That sucker just fell off perfectly into a paddle. That sucker was not fun to get paddled with.
No. Thanks for the call.
Thank you, caller. All right, 232-1542. Caller, you're up. Go ahead. All right, caller, you there? Caller. Hello. All right,
man.
232-1542.
They need a little pregame.
Yeah, they need. Yeah. Make sure your radio is turned down when you start dialing the number.
That's exactly right.
Because if you get in, you don't need to listen on your radio. As soon as you get in, if you get on hold, you're going to be able to hear what's going on. You're going to hear the conversation.
Yeah. Well, it brings to mind, thinking about these situations, it brings to mind the common scene that we used to see from all kinds of parents, and that was the kid being drug out. Okay, like arm being ripped out of its socket. Kids right up on its tippy toes trying to keep up, and that meant they did not pay attention to the pregame speech.
No, they didn't. 232-1542. All right, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, this is something that happened to my mom a few years back. She came home at dusk, and her next door neighbor, across the street neighbor's sons, were playing chicken with cars. They were laying down literally in the middle of the road.
Oh, man.
And waiting for cars to get close and then jumping up and running out. So Mama said, stop it. You're going to get killed. They went and ran to their mama. This woman crossed the street and reamed my mother out for correcting her sons.
Oh.
Yeah, you see, that's the whole thing. That's what I saw when I witnessed this scenario the other day. It was just, no, you are not going to correct my son. I'm going to correct my son. Well, then get your son off of the street. Your kid is laying down in the middle of the street, ma'am.
And no, but her sons were perfect. And how dare you correct my son?
Oh, my goodness.
My sons. So Mama said, no problem. Never happen again.
Yeah. Yeah, don't come crying.
She might have just saved your son's life, by the way.
Yeah, don't come crying when I run him over.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a bad situation, and parents need to. Now, I am definitely a supporter of, don't go overboard, lecture my child, yell at my child, unless you're the teacher or we've already know each other or you're a relative or something like that. But, this is just those situations just get so out of control. 232-1542, the Cajun Harley Hotline. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Offsides, everybody. Shannon Wilkerson, Brandon Comeaux. We are getting a lot of phone calls in. We're talking about scenarios in business settings and restaurants, public places where children are really being disruptive and the parents do not do anything about it. And then if you ask the child to stop, the parents will sometimes become confrontational with you for correcting their child. So we've got a caller that's been patiently waiting. We always appreciate that. Let's go to the phone line.
All right, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Okay, I called because maybe you can help me understand this. I'm in my 60s, and I was completely blown away. My husband and I had a used car business, and there was a dancing school behind the business. We had an older Audi that had a cracked back windshield, but it was just one long crack along the windshield. The windshield was intact, so we kept it in the back, thinking about fixing it up later. Well, one day after a bunch of rain, I noticed the entire back windshield was destroyed. There were rocks inside the car from the dancing school parking lot. So I asked around, and some of the little girls told me that some boys, I guess they saw the crack and they thought, well, they were going to make it a little better, you know. So some boys had thrown rocks at the windshield until they had busted it out. Well, I went in. I asked them to find the boys for me. I wanted to talk to them. So they found the boys, and I think there were maybe, 9 or 10. And I started just talking to them, and I wasn't angry, but I was telling them, you know, if you had been adults, what you had done, policemen would have been called, and this would be really bad because you destroyed my property, and cars are very expensive. And I'm not yelling, I'm just talking. And I couldn't believe what happened next. A couple of parents, not their parents, but they were listening. They were young parents. They started saying to me, they looked like, oh, my God, there was like horror on their faces that I was telling these boys what they had done, why it was wrong, and that as adults, police would have been called, that it was destruction of property. They were horrified, and they asked me to stop telling those boys what was wrong about what they did.
Unbelievable.
And it was unbelievable because I was talking so calmly to those boys.
Mm-hmm. And you know what it is? It's some of these parents that are sheltering the heck out of their kids. You know, there's one thing, Shannon, that you had mentioned to me off the air about the story that you told me, but you didn't mention when we got back on, is that when the lady was fussing at the man that was, you know, correcting her child, when she was saying, hey, I'm the adult, talk to me, she was also telling him, she said, well, and she was talking about her son, she said, well, he probably didn't know it. He wasn't aware of what he was doing. You know, as if
actually, the man had just told him what he was aware of. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Yes.
And he talked back in a rude manner to the. He looked right at him after he said, look, could you please get out? He looked right at him and said, yeah, I'll get out. Maybe. Now, look, right there. Oh, my God. I'd have gotten worn out for saying something like that.
Yeah.
Completely disrespectful to your elders. And, you know, it's just when the child is out of control and then the parent does nothing about it and then the parent is insulted by another adult just pointing out the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's what we're talking about. All right. It's not like you went up. This guy went up and grabbed the kid or anything like that, yanked him out of the box, which is what I wanted to happen. Okay. Nothing like that happened. And, you know, caller, that's really an outrageous story that you just shared with us about people. Now, and they could hear what you were saying. They understood that these children had vandalized your property.
Yeah, and that car was an entire loss. I mean, I ended up losing it because we closed down the business a lot sooner than we expected, and it was just a loss. And I was just shocked that I told those ladies, I said, those young women, I said, and I said, if I had done what these boys did, I would have gotten a whipping from my father. Oh, my gosh. And why are you, and I said to them, why are you having a problem with me simply telling them why what they did is so wrong? You know, I was just shocked. I was just shocked.
So what do we do about it? That's what I want to know. I mean, you know, we've identified the problem, and the problem isn't it, you know, sometimes in situations like this, I can't blame the child. I would be doing the exact same thing at that age if my parents were behaving this way. So the more important, we thank you for your call and that that disturbing story.
Yeah.
But the question is, what do we do to try to implement some type of control or encouragement for the parents to step up and do the right thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. I say you just throw them all out.
232-1542. All right, caller, you're up. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing?
Good.
Hey, I got a few of those stories. Not going to go into them, but what I've learned from all of those stories, rule number one, do not ever talk to the child directly. It goes nowhere quick, no matter what it is. Don't talk to the kid. You talk to the parent. If the parent doesn't do anything, you document it, and you call the police and you press charges. I'm sorry, but that's it. Do not even look at the kid, because all that does, they bow up and they act like you're about to take their peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I don't understand that, but anyway, that's what I've learned over the years.
I think that's great advice.
It
is. You're
saying.
It is. Because you think you're being respectful by talking to the kid, and you think you're doing, as an adult, you should be respected by the kid. But in this day and age, unfortunately, there are many parents that don't raise their kids to have respect for other adults. Yeah. So just go straight to the adult. I think it's great.
No, that's the way to do it. Yeah. You go straight to the adult and say, please, could you get your brat kid out of the toy box, please? Okay.
And if they don't do it, then you take the next step and you call the cops, or you file whatever it is. But anyway, just my 2 cents. Great show, guys.
All right, thank you. Thank you for the call.
I think that's some good advice. 232-1542. You're up next, caller. Go ahead.
Well, that last caller was right on. I tell you what, I used to be security for several big stores, and I'm going to tell you right now, as much as you want to tell the child something, do not, because I'm telling you, that child will go running back to the parents, and the parents are going to try and turn it on you like you hurt that child. I've seen it many, many times.
All right, here's the question, though. Here's the question. And I mean, I'd like to know what you think about it. I don't mean it specifically towards you. It's just a scenario question. This happens in a big old department store, all right, like Walmart, and the parents aren't anywhere around, and you have no idea which one of these people that are shopping in this great big store are the parents. What do you do then?
First thing you do, alert the security. Security's going to look for the cameras that are on the children and follow the children with the cameras while they're called on the police, because they don't want a lawsuit. Okay, if the children start throwing things on the ground and start throwing themselves on the ground, then the security is going to grab the children, not in any kind of a hostile manner, but make sure that the children are not hurting anybody or hurting themselves, and then wait for the police.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the way you got to do it, because, they got people out there that are looking for a paycheck, and they're going to try and claim that, you harmed the child or something, when we all know they got some children out there that are little demons, okay?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Thank you, caller.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate you. All right, 232-1542. As we continue talking about this topic, we'd love for you to enter your thoughts into the conversation. We'll be right back. 232-1542 is the number to call to get in on the conversation. Be careful as the rain is coming off and on outside. It's raining here at the KPEL News Center, so please be careful as you go out and about. Trinity Graphics, located at 2010 Ambassador next to Tobacco Plus. They're a family-owned and operated printing company.
That's right. This printing company specializes in signs and decals, vehicle wrapping, screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving.
Absolutely. Now, if you work with a sports team, Trinity Graphics provides the best service for team gear. They're quick, efficient, and organized, which, of course, will make coaches, parents, and the players all happy.
Visit online at trinitygraphics.com. Let me spell that for you because it's a little different. TRINITYGRAPHX.com. Or you can call them at 408-3644.
Yeah, I love the engraving that they did. As a matter of fact, when
we got those cool coffee cups.
Yeah, the cool coffee cups, man. The cool engraving. They put our names on them.
Yeah.
They put News Talk 96.5 KPEL on it as well.
The whole thing, that's right.
Got to see their great work in person, so it was awesome.
Yeah.
Trinity Graphics.
Nice people, and I want to thank them today for letting my wife park there.
Ah, yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
All right, so back to the phone lines. We're talking about bad parents, and we're talking about parents that are confronted by people who are complaining about their children who are misbehaving and annoying and bothering everybody and being ignored by the parents who should be stopping them from doing it in the first place. But then when they are confronted, they're terribly offended. And so we're curious what you have to say about it.
All right, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
All right, so I got a little story for you. It won't be long, but
okay.
You got me fired up on this one. All right, so I'm going to put you in the situation. All right, I have two little kids, a boy and a girl, riding bikes in our subdivision. My kids are probably 6 and 7 at the time. Okay, no, maybe 5 and 6. Riding bikes, there's this little kid outside when we pass by their house, starts cussing and hollering at us, like to no end. I said, you got to be kidding me. So I took my two little kids, and I said, look, y'all go to the neighbor's house right here, knocked on the door, said, here, watch my kids for a minute. I didn't even give this other little kid the time of day. Went straight to the person's house.
Mm-hmm. How old? Wait, let me stop you. Let me stop you just so I can get a visual. How old is this child?
The kid is probably about 9 or 10.
Okay.
Probably 9 years old. Let's just say 9. Now, I went to knock on the door. The door is open, so I just rang the doorbell. The mother turns around to me. The kid had already made it inside the house and apparently told the parent something. Mm-hmm. The parent turned to me and started coming outside and screaming to no end. I said, ma'am, I'm just coming to explain what just happened. I couldn't even get a word out. This lady body checked me all the way to the end of the driveway. Oh. I got my arms closed, and I don't know what to do. I'm just like beside myself, like, you got to be kidding me. And she's just yelling. I turned around and got on my bike because at this point, there's no talking to this person. Went, got my kids, got back inside the house, and the kids are asking me what happened. Said, look, y'all don't worry about it. I took care of it. Not 10 minutes later, not one, but 2 sheriff deputies showed up at my house.
Oh, my God.
Thank goodness I have a really good relationship with the sheriff department. I know most of the guys that work for them. And, look, I love them to death, take care of them. I think they do a phenomenal job. But this lady told the sheriff department that I body checked her, I pushed her, and I spit in her face.
Ooh. And
she wanted me arrested. Well, the sheriff deputy knew who I was and said, you know what, there's no way this guy did this. Came and talked to me, and I'm like, I'm beside myself because I got to hear her statement. And I said, guys, y'all know I didn't do this. Like, this is what happened, you know? Anyway, long story short, I ended up having to sign a piece of paper saying that I won't go back on her property again, and they kind of leveled with her. They even told the sheriff deputies that they work for her because she pays their taxes, so they need to go and arrest her and file the complaint with their supervisor. So the point of the story is, if a little kid does something like that and you got your kids or something, muffle their ears, turn the other way, and walk away, because I will never go and confront somebody out again without some kind of video surveillance or camera or something to see what's going on. Because I could have easily gone to jail because of this lady.
Absolutely. Because she's claiming you assaulted her. Okay, I mean, she's making claims of assault, and it's your word against hers. And in many cases, you would have gotten arrested.
Absolutely. Like I said, if I wouldn't have known the sheriff deputy personally, I would have gotten some trouble on that one. And I'd have had to go into court, spend a bunch of money, and try and, explain my side of the story. I mean, it's just, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, glad it worked out for you, and you didn't get in trouble, man. That's a scary thought to think about, but that's true. And, sometimes you'll have, unfortunately, some women that'll do that they'll
men and women.
Yeah, men and women. But in this case, a woman body checking a man because you don't think the man's not going to hit her back a lot of times, and then comes back and tries to claim that he's the one that was assaulting her. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, people are just crazy. Yeah. These stories, they enrage me because those kind of situations right there. Now, all of a sudden, you are on the defense. Mm-hmm. Okay, you are placed on the defense, and you could have gotten arrested and gone to jail, all based on a complete lie, completely misleading the police. Now, you see, you're right. What would have been ideal is if you would have had all that on video, and then she would have been subject to arrest for filing a false report.
Right, but in the heat of the moment like that, you just go in to talk to the parent, because if somebody comes and tells me about that with my kids,
I mean, shame on me, but they're going to get a whipping like there's no tomorrow. I mean, we discipline our kids, and they know respect. And, some kids just don't have it these days. And, I mean, that goes back on the parents. I think if the kid doesn't have it, then the parents don't have it. So it's no use in even confronting the parent at this point because the parent doesn't show any,
Yeah. Good point.
Thank you, caller.
All right. What's up, Acadiana, and welcome to Offsides. I'm Shannon Wilkerson, here with Brandon Comeaux. Thanks for joining us for today's broadcast. We'll be with you until 6 o'clock. It's currently 5:08, and the coolest day that we've had in, forever, simply because of the rain, but I don't care why.
It's got down to 78 degrees, man.
Isn't that crazy?
I love it.
78 degrees.
Yeah, as long as the lightning doesn't cause issues and power outages. Yeah. I love the rain during the summertime.
Yeah, give me some breeze with that. And I'll be very happy.
Yeah, I'll take that too.
Yeah. All right, so listen, here it is, Monday, 5 o'clock, biggest hour of the week. We kick it off every week right here on Offsides with I Hate Mondays every Monday at 5 o'clock. And this gives us, Brandon and I, an opportunity to share with our listeners things that we don't like, things that we hate, things that we want to see different. Mm-hmm. And it also allows our callers to share their thoughts about the same thing. And we get some very, very interesting complaints every week. Mm-hmm. It gets to be more and more entertaining, things that annoy us, but we don't always notice. And our listeners call up and let us know. And now now we all have a longer list of things that we hate.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks to Brandon and I and our callers. So I'll kick it off.
Go for it.
I've got a good one. I hate space invaders. Okay? What I mean by that are people that invade my space.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Close.
I thought it was like a movie or something.
No. Okay? People that invade my space. People that would just come up and stand too close to me for no reason. All right? And then you take a step away.
Uh-huh.
And then they take a step with you.
Yes.
Okay? And these are complete strangers. Mm-hmm. Now, it's not always strangers, okay? Sometimes it's people that you know, but they just stand too close to you.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. People that what I call breathing my air.
Yeah.
Don't breathe my air. And so I think that a 3-foot radius is reasonable.
Yeah.
When it comes to if you're in the center, 3 feet.
Yeah.
Around. Don't do that. Don't come and invade my space. Unless you want to tell me a secret and I know you.
Yeah, I mean, Shannon and I just yell at each other from across the studio whenever we talk to each other.
It works. Just stay way over there.
We love our personal space.
Exactly. And so I don't like people that invade my space. Space invaders, I hate them.
I'm with you, man. Look, it's never more awkward for me in a conversation than when somebody is super excited about what they're talking about and they get right up under you. And when you take that step back, they don't take that social cue and they step forward into it.
Yes.
It's like, oh, man, I don't want to be rude. And you're thinking, as they're telling you what they're talking about, you're also within your head, it's running like, okay, how can I get some distance between me and this person now?
Right.
And you're thinking about that as much as you are the conversation. And they may not feel the awkwardness, but you certainly do.
Yeah. Well, it happened to me this week. Earlier, we were talking about the Louisiana Outdoor Expo, and what a huge, huge success it was for Town Square Media out at the Cajun Dome and the Convention Center. Mm-hmm. And it happened to me a few times there. I would be standing there looking at the material, some of the things that many of the vendors had. So I'd be standing there looking at their products. Mm-hmm. And then someone would come stand. Now, there's plenty of space there, It's not a crowded area.
Yeah.
And they would come stand too close to me, and I would look over like, what do you want? What are you doing? And then so I would take a step over.
Yeah.
And they would take a step over.
Yeah.
It was like somebody was...
Quit chasing me.
Exactly. Don't stand next to me at all, And so that's the first thing on my list.
All right, 232-1542, 232-1542. So I will go ahead and give one of mine off of this list. And this one is a very basic one, starting it off with traffic because, look, traffic is crazy right now. I think a lot of people can identify with this. When the person that's in front of you that was holding up traffic is able to make it through the red light and you can't.
Oh, my God.
Now, whether it's intentional or not, sometimes people drive super slow, and then they're just able to make it past that red light, and you, stuck behind them, get stuck at that red light.
It makes me crazy.
It makes me crazy as well, and unfortunately, it happens all too often.
Yeah, well, it does, and it happens a lot, or this is what will happen with me.
Yeah.
I'll be at a red light, all right, and the light turns green, and the person in front of me is, of course, reading their phone.
Right.
Okay, looking at their phone. And so I'm trying to be patient, and I'm trying to, okay, now, all right, I'm going to give them a little bonk. All right, I'm going to bonk you. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I give them a little bonk. They don't move. Okay, then I give them a longer bonk. All right, all right, then they still don't move. Now I'm giving them an excessively long bonk. All right, then they look up, and they realize that what they're doing, and right then the light turns yellow.
Yeah.
Okay, and so they get to drive through, and I'm stuck at the light.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes me crazy. We should be able to trade places when that happens, okay? We should be able to, remember Star Trek with beaming? I should be able to beam myself into their position, made it through the light, and they would have to sit through the light again.
Yeah, as I'm on my way in this morning, there's this one vehicle that is going pretty slow on Ambassador Caffrey, and you can tell one line of traffic is backing up and the other line is moving along steadily, but it's hard if you're in the line behind that vehicle to get over to the other side because people are flying past you. And sure enough, that car that was going slow and was holding up the traffic is able to make it right past the light.
Just in time.
And I was not able to.
Yeah.
So it just, that can be pretty aggravating.
Oh, yes.
232-1542. All right, caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, how you doing? What a
Good.
coincidence. Those are the two, my two, not say favorite, they're not my favorite complaints that I have about things. But I want to ask you a question first. In that second last call last hour, somebody twice referred to body checking. One person body checked the other one, body checked. I have never heard that term before. Can you tell me what that
Well, body checking is basically when you go up to somebody and you bump them with like your chest, and you're trying to kind of intimidate them, and you're trying to push them off of where they stand.
A belly bump.
Yeah, like a belly bump, too.
That term before. But looking at your first complaint, and what gets me is when you're talking to someone maybe that you haven't seen in a while, but you need to talk to, and you're just about to say what you need to say, and somebody comes and just breaks in between and talks to the other person. I mean,
and hijacks the conversation.
Interrupts the conversation and talks to the person. Like if I'm talking to a friend of mine that's a public official or whatever, and they just come in, they say, and they just push you aside and just talk to that person like there's, like they have a right to talk to people.
Yeah.
So
that's a good one. That's
an excellent one. Yeah. That people just behave as if you're not there at all.
Hey, but you're not there. It's like, well, what they've got to say is important. They've got to talk to that person, but, it doesn't matter what you were talking about.
That's a good call, man.
At all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, 232-1542. Caller, you're up. Go ahead.
Must be me.
It's you.
Yes, sir. You're on.
Okay. Yeah, part of the traffic problems, they got traffic malfunction. The lights are malfunctioning. St. Mary and Pinhook.
Okay.
Pinhook and right past the bridge in front of Outback. So they're just flashing lights.
All right.
All
perfect.
right. Thanks for the call.
They're being treated as four-way stops.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, and look, that could be one, too,
it.
when people don't know how to maneuver through those situations.
In traffic lights?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, caller. All right, 232-1542. Caller, you're up. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I really hate is long-winded people. People who tell a story and they feel like they have to give every single detail in the story. It's like, come on, just get with the story. Let's get going.
Skip
Have
down.
A point. Get
Skip
there.
down.
Don't drag it out for 30 minutes.
Yes, that's what I always tell them. Skip down a few lines.
There you go. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you very much.
All right, 232-1542. We go back to the Cajun Harley hotline. Caller, you're up. Go ahead.
Hey, I got one, fellas.
Okay.
Eating lunch, and standing in line, the Coke machine with all the different Cokes?
Yes.
With all the different flavors?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, what I hate is the person who has to taste test every flavor before, and there's only one drink station.
Yep.
But they have to taste test every flavor to see what they like.
Yeah.
People, just like the previous call, this is just people totally inconsiderate of others. And I like to tell all those people, hey, guess what? Other people exist.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, normally I'm a pretty patient person. But this guy, he must have tried at least 15 different flavors before, and then he drank a cup before I was able to get to the drink station. It was just, and so that's why I hate Mondays is people standing in line and not considerate of other people, for sure.
An excellent addition to the conversation.
Yes,
Thank you.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and take this break, but first, your J&J Exterminating Pest of the Day.
Time to call in the experts. It's the J&J Pest of the Day.
All right, so we head on up to New Jersey for this one. Now, we've given this story before, but there's been an update. You'll recognize this one. The New Jersey superintendent accused of pooping on a high school track is resigning, and he's suing police for $1 million.
That's right. Thomas Traboglini was charged with public urination or defecation, discarding, and dumping of litter and lewdness after staff found human feces on Holmdel High School track on a daily basis.
Yeah, the 42-year-old has resigned as superintendent of Kenilworth Public Schools and has taken the first steps in suing the Holmdel Police Department for at least $1 million.
Holmdel's attorney claims police unlawfully photographed Traboglini by taking his mugshot and making it public. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I said the lawsuit also claims he suffered reasonable financial loss of income, harm to reputation, emotional distress, invasion of privacy, and intrusion on seclusion.
But what expectation do you have of privacy when you're out there pooping on the track?
Yes.
Okay? All right, so there you go. Thomas Traboglini is your J&J Exterminating Pest of the Day.
78 degrees here at the KPL News Center. Yeah, you heard that right. 78 degrees as the rain's been falling and falling and falling for the past hour. I'll take it, Shannon.
Okay, so here's a question.
Okay.
When do you think it'll be? How long do you think it'll be? What's your guess?
Okay.
When we will have it 78 degrees regularly? Like, when are we going to hit 78 degrees?
Not till at least mid-September.
September. I was going to say September 15th.
Maybe even late September.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah, people forget about the month of September.
Oh, September is as bad as June and July.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. I mean, August to me is the worst, but then people forget about September and just assume it kind of flows in with the fall, and it really doesn't.
I put the main summer in a 4-month period.
Yeah.
And June and September are about equal to me.
Yeah.
And July and August are about equal.
That's a pretty good way to put it.
So, and because you really don't get people go, oh, well, August is over. I can't. Now we can take out all of our fall clothing, and the leaves are going to start falling.
No, not yet.
Sorry, buddy.
It maybe goes down from 95 to 92.
You're right. Those three degrees.
Yeah. 232-1542. Well, we got some people waiting on the line to jump in on this I Hate Monday, and then Shannon and I will each give our next on the list. Caller, you're up. Go ahead.
Hey, Brandon.
Jeff, what's going on?
What I hate, and I hate this 7 days a week, not just on Monday.
Right.
But when it's raining like it is now, or it's one of these super-duper foggy mornings like we have so often down here in the good sultry South, is we got idiots out on the highway with the IQ of a soap dish with no lights.
Oh, yeah. They just refuse to put the lights on, yeah. I'll tell you what I can't stand when the weather's like this or foggy. Excuse me, like you just explained. It's frustrating when people are driving too fast or too slow.
Yeah. Buddy, when it's me, I've got every light plus my hazard lights on. I want people to see me.
Yeah, me too. I frequently put my hazard lights on, too.
Especially if you're
I'm
riding,
very paranoid.
Yeah, especially if you're riding a light-colored vehicle like white or gray. You got to make that extra effort, especially during this time. Thank you, caller.
Thank you.
All right, 232-1542. Caller, you're up. Go ahead.
One of the things that I do hate on Mondays, but every day in particular, and I think any hardworking man can relate to this, is we get an hour for lunch. So we go to the break room, we get our little lunch, we sit down. There's always one employee that has to come in there and constantly talk about work. I don't want to talk about work.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I don't want to know anything about work. Just give me this hour in peace. But no, you got to drag all the work into my lunch hour because I can't go anywhere. I can't stand that.
Yeah, or just a constant talker, period.
Yeah, just let me relax, let me calm down, and we'll deal with this later. Just give me that hour. It's my hour.
As guys, oftentimes, we just like to sit in peace just for a few minutes. Especially if we've had a long day, just to kind of decompress Doesn't mean anything's wrong. We're just kind of decompressing and just kind of letting the stress of the day go by the wayside.
It's very common in my house when my wife will ask me if I'm home on a day off, and she'll ask, "What do you want to do today?" And I'll say to her in all seriousness, "Let's have a whole day with no talking." Okay. Can we please have one day, no talking at all? All right. We can just text each other or pass each other notes. All right. It's not that I don't love you. You're wonderful. But it would just be nice for us to be here in the room together, not talking.
Well, I'm going to try that with my wife, and if I need a place to sleep, I'm coming to your house. Yeah.
No. Don't come to my house, brother. You sound like you're fine gentleman, okay? But no guests.
Thank you, sir. All right, 232-1542. Caller, you're up. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. Good afternoon.
Hey.
Being in the media, you guys can probably relate to this.
Yeah.
I hate it when I am listening to the radio, television, whatever, and a journalist or a reporter or something like that passes off something as a fact that is totally and completely wrong.
Yep.
Not a debatable issue, just a fact that is wrong. I'll give you an example. I'm a sports guy. Last week I was watching or listening to a radio station out in New Orleans, and they were talking about Nick Saban, and they said Alabama's won 5 of the last 7 national championships. That's just plain old wrong. They've only won 4 out of 7. Where did they get this information? It's an endless list that drives me nuts, because isn't a journalist's job to check his facts?
Yeah. Well, you know what they call that now? Fake news.
Yeah.
I mean that's fake news. Okay, it's just all there is to it. They don't check their facts, and they just run their mouth. Now, it's different with an editorial, because editorials are opinion-based. But when you're talking about the news and you're bringing up some type of statistics, sports or news-related, man, you got to check and see if that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where you get their information, but it's bogus.
All right, brother.
Thanks, caller.
Thank you, bogus man.
232-1542.
I haven't heard that word in a while.
Bogus.
I like it.
Uh-huh. All right, we'll take one more caller here before Shannon gives his next on the list. Caller, you're up. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks for taking the call. Just when I was waiting to come on, this is a true story. My daughter's 27, and it's been about a year, but out of the blue, she said, "Dad, I want to tell you something." She said, "When I was a kid, you'd come home from work and you wouldn't hardly say anything. You'd just go sit in your chair for a while and be quiet. And I used to think that was rude, but now that I'm working, I get it."
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and just imagine how
when I get home, I don't want to. She said, "When I get home, I don't want to talk to anybody either."
No, I want to do something completely mindless, but keeps me occupied. I'd love to go home after work and take maybe about a half hour and play solitaire on the computer. Okay, just something. You're just playing a little puzzle. I don't want to listen to the news. I don't want to look at my email. I don't want to talk. Okay, and I don't want to listen.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, let me play fair. This is what I hate, because it's happened to me a couple times over the past week. When I have a customer service issue and I'm the customer and I ask to speak to a manager, and supposedly a manager gets on the phone, and I go through the whole spill, and the first thing they say is, "Well, I'm going to have to transfer you to somebody else." And it's like, wait a minute. I don't want to go through this 3 times. Can you please put someone on the phone that can actually address my problem, not just listen to it, address it.
Yeah.
That's what
what I do every time I'm in a situation like that. As soon as they answer the phone, I made it a habit a long time ago. The first thing I say to them is, "Hello, who am I speaking with, please?" And and if they give me their first name, I ask for their last name, because a lot of times they'll say, "Oh, hello, this is Brian." Brian what? Brian Smith. Okay, and what is your capacity? What is your position there? And if they're not the person that I'm asking for in regards to their role with the company, I'll say, "I'm sorry, Brian, I can't talk to you. I need to speak with the manager that is on duty."
That's great advice. I'm going to try that.
All right, brother.
Thank you, sir. All right, Shannon, go ahead. I know you got one on your
list.
list.
I got another one, and I've brought this up before, but this keeps happening, okay? So they're not listening. Okay, people aren't listening. You got to pay attention now, all right?
Okay.
Now, I cannot stand it when I am either at the store or at the bank, which is the 2 places where I've witnessed this happening to me, all right? And you are getting checked out, and you have a cashier, or you're in the middle of a transaction with the bank teller, all right?
Okay.
And then a coworker approaches them and starts a conversation. And they start talking to each other when they're right in the middle of a transaction or checking you out.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're talking about things at work, all right? But that should be able to wait.
Right.
But many times they're talking about something personal.
Well.
You know, somebody walks up and, and says, hey, did you hear about Shirley?
Yeah.
No, what about Shirley? Well, Shirley's kid is in all kind of trouble because this happened or that happened. I can't stand that.
Yeah.
Focus on what's going on. All right. I don't need you to pay, to have a conversation with me, but I would like for you to at least be focused on our transaction before you start a conversation about what happened with Shirley.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, when you're dealing with money, you want to make sure that it's done correctly so that nothing wrong happens with the transaction. And then also the fact that they're supposed to be giving you service and they're talking with each other at the same time. That can and kind of makes you feel unprioritized as the customer going in.
Yeah, that's not good. And it happens a lot. And I see it happen with other people. I'll be in line at the store or about be in line at the bank, and I'm watching, and sure enough, someone else is in the middle of or is in the position that I'm describing, and they're just having a conversation between each other. And first off, you're more likely to make a mistake. They are more likely to make a mistake. And second, they are not giving the customer the attention that they need for the reason that they came in.
All right, well, Shannon shared his. I'll share one when we come back and get more calls from you here on I Hate Mondays, Offsides, News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
That's it, man. Cajun Harley-Davidson, everybody. Cajun Harley-Davidson now has a new offer called Warranty Forever. Warranty Forever provides a lifetime limited powertrain warranty. This warranty is included in every new and pre-owned bike under 5 years old, and it is at no additional cost to the buyer.
Also, Cajun Harley-Davidson is the only Harley-Davidson dealership in the state of Louisiana that has the Warranty Forever program. Now, regular maintenance is required, so make sure you go into Cajun Harley-Davidson and discuss the details with one of the incredible sales team members.
Yeah, and as we mentioned before, Cajun Harley was out at Louisiana Outdoor Expo. And just to make sure our callers understand, we were running that jump start, and I was giving instructions to people, and the bike is loud, okay, which is why I sound the way I do today.
Little hoarse there.
A little hoarse. I got a text message and a phone call. People, man, are you sick? No, I'm not sick. This is what it sounds like when you're screaming over a Harley-Davidson for 2 days straight.
Yeah.
And so my voice should be back to normal by tomorrow.
Yeah, that was so cool, though. If you didn't get a chance to do the jump start at the Outdoor Expo, there you go.
It's there every day.
Awesome.
All right.
232-1542 as we do I Hate Mondays here every Monday at 5. News Talk 96.5 KPEL here on Offside. So my next one on the list is very simple. That lawmakers, our Louisiana state legislators, got rid of the sales tax holidays. Those sales tax holidays was something that kind of gave us a break when it was very much that would encourage people that, look, hey, you need something. Well, during this time of the year, whether it's Second Amendment for obviously gun stuff, whether it's back to school, about this time, the first weekend in August, it was a nice little way that the government would tell the taxpayer, hey, we'll give you a little bit of break for now, for this weekend, and it'll help you save a little money when you get those much-needed supplies. Well, now they took away all these tax holidays, and now you have the story out today that one of the legislators said that the sales tax holiday was not intended for suspension. Well, it's suspended for 7 years. And so he came out and said, well, we didn't exactly know that this was going to happen, which... I'm not calling the man a liar, but
how do you not know?
How do you not know that? You're a lawmaker.
How do you not know?
How do you not know what you're voting for?
Yeah, so they charge us more, and then they take away these promotions.
Exactly.
That helped us out.
And all the people on the side of taking away these holidays say, well, it's only about $20 that you save. Well, you know what? That's $20. That's more in my pocket.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. And so, all
and
these
it was great for the outlets, too. It was great for the retail, okay, because it encouraged people to go out and shop. And so they were able to move a lot of inventory.
Yeah.
And so it was a win-win, except for the state.
Yeah. Well, and of all these millions and millions of dollars that got passed on us in the last session, they can't keep a little break in for us, the ones that they're getting this tax money from. That is so frustrating. So, all right, 232-1542. We go back to the Cajun Harley hotline. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Y'all triggered a memory for me with the, and it's really irritating about the people who are checking you out, talking to other folks and having another conversation. When I was growing up, my dad, who's been gone 20 years, so it's been a while, had something he would do. He had his class ring from SLI, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And when somebody wasn't paying attention to him at the register, there was a lot more metal back in those days, he would take it and wrap it on something.
Like tap it?
Say, yeah, wait, and it would sound like a damn 22 going off because it was usually, there wasn't as much plastic back then.
Yeah.
So he was hitting something hard. And they'd jump up and he'd say, I'm the customer. I'm standing in front of you with money. Pay attention to me.
Yeah.
And that usually shut down the entire assembly line of people checking people
Wouldn't
out.
it be wonderful if you could still do that? Because I'll tell you what, if you did that right now, the cashier or the teller would completely explode on you, and they'd probably ask you to leave.
Oh, I know. I thought about this. You like you said, you triggered a memory because it happened just a few weeks ago with me, and I was, wishing I had done something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You walk out 5 minutes later, you wish you had done something. But I thought about that. If my old man had tried that today, Lord have mercy, they'd probably escort him out of the store.
That's right. Yeah. They'd probably call 911 on him, and there'd be a big old scene. The last thing that would happen, in my opinion, and this is the shameful part, the last thing that would happen is for that cashier or the teller to say, you know what, sir, I'm sorry. I was distracted. I'll finish and give you my undivided attention. That's not what would happen.
It was a different time back then, but I remember when I was a kid that more than one occasion that they did apologize to it. And like I said, it would not happen today.
Never in a million years.
If I may take just a second, Shannon, I grew up on WWL radio because I'm from Houma, and I really enjoyed your brother. I did not know that Kenny was your brother until just the show a few weeks ago.
Oh yeah,
and my sympathies on his passing, but he was a great radio host.
He really was, and I appreciate that. And we lost him a little more than 5 years ago, and I think that he was instrumental in me being able, and he was very encouraging for me to get into radio, and I think that he was a great influence, and I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Yeah, my dad did a lot of radio himself, and it's I don't put that compliment lightly because he.
Well, I appreciate
it. My dad set some high standards, and I appreciate it. Y'all take care.
Thank you very much.
All right, 232-1542. Caller, you're up. Go ahead.
Hey, you got me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hey.
PC.
What's up, PC?
That's what I got, man, and I got a good one for y'all because I'm going back on y'all in the time.
All right.
So college.
All right.
Listening to y'all show all day, I couldn't get a chance to cut in and talk to y'all, and I missed a few callers, but nobody really came in with a sound wisdom answer there. And I hate when you fall in the crowd. And we got leaders. You got leaders. You pick this man to judge somebody. You got to know somebody. And these electoral colonists know the people. If you're going to put a person there, trust the person to do his job right. Okay. I hate a person that's doing something and think he's doing right and don't know he's doing right. And this whole society, seems to me, is going backwards. If it's working, why fix it if it's not working? We need to go back in the days when I left in 81. I said, look, y'all going backwards. The police need to be the police again and stop it like that man just said before. Look what they did this year. Back in my days, the police was the law of the land. When you get the guard, it's the police. And they're supposed to make that decision. Don't take it to these judges and the senators and the representatives. Be the law. The law the one sets the standard which way this country go. Run the news, people. One of my men got shot back in the days. I looked in his eyes when he died. Channel 9 came out to still have it on there. Listen, Mr. Morgan, you was the second one there. If you don't get this camera off my face, if the police starts running, being the police, things can go back. But you got to first get the law back being the law and stop out there. Police definitely trying to be state troopers. I used to stop them for that. Stop writing people. You want to attack? Let's charge each person a penny. stop getting out there. You get some deputies now, they playing state trooper. The first thing they want to do is raise a radar gun. I used to stop them. I ran West Baton Parish. I wouldn't let one do it now. Don't want to go get there at all because they're so backwards, the law. I was scared of how different the law would change each judge. The police can arrest the judge. Get back.
All right. Easy, big fella.
Boy, he had like
Boy, you
20
get rolling.
of them in there.
You get rolling.
Oh, yeah.
We appreciate your passion.
Thank you, PC.
Thank you, PC. Good hearing from you.
All right, man. Now, by the way, for those that I know, Shannon, you had a little confusion at the beginning. He was referencing the Electoral College discussion that we had on the day that you were out.
I got you.
And how people are challenging that right now.
I remember the story, but you're right. I wasn't here, and so I was a little lost there.
Yeah. 232-1542. All right, caller, you're up. Go ahead.
Am I on?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Everybody knows about the Chick-fil-A thing on Ambassador, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It backs up. Okay. I pulled in. I got my nuggets. Everything was cool. When I was exiting, the car in front of me puts on their left turn signal.
Oh, no.
And there's two lanes of traffic that are stopped. Then there's a turning lane. Then the right lane is like 4 lanes.
You're never going to get over.
You're never going to cross those 4 lanes.
No, you can't do that.
Left out of Chick-fil-A, dude. It ain't going to happen. So I just waited and waited and waited. And it was funny. I was listening to you guys on I Hate Mondays. I was like, I got to call them now.
Yeah. Look, I hate making left turns in Lafayette. When I was a teenager, I didn't understand why that saying was out there. When I got behind the wheel a lot more, especially as an adult, and had to go every day to work or whatever, I started understanding that.
I know people that refuse to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, I really do. I know people that refuse to take left turns, and they will make the block to be able to get where they need to go by taking right turns.
They cause aggravation. They cause neck and body pain.
Well, I'll tell you, the difference between here and where I grew up is that nowhere in New Orleans, Jefferson Parish, or Kenner are you going to find a middle turning lane.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I first moved here, I was really intimidated by that because at any time going down a busy street, either direction can turn left. Okay. And so you could be sitting in that middle lane with traffic blowing by you going in both directions right there next to your car. Yeah. And man, when you're not used to that,
your vehicle.
it is rocking your vehicle. That's exactly right. And all you need is for one of those people traveling in either direction to veer off just a little bit. All right. And man, you're going to get clipped.
Absolutely.
Disaster.
Thank you, caller.
Thank you.
And of course, in New Orleans, you got all these one-ways as well. It's just, man, it's so different.
Well, I'll tell you, what you have in New Orleans is a lot of no left turn intersections. But past the intersection, there's a U-turn.
Yes.
Okay, so you got to pass it up and take the U-turn and come back to it.
Yeah. I got to tell you, now Houston's got bad traffic. When you went out into the neighborhoods in Houston and you had, it was kind of designed like it is on Johnston from Ambassador as you're heading towards, Dussault in that area. And I know in some parts of Houston, not the highway driving, but in some of those parts where you had the whatever you had in the middle, the median and whatever.
Yeah, the median.
It was kind of nice driving in that kind of a sense. It was kind of, everybody's going the same direction here. You get your areas to make your U-turns.
Yeah, the median changes things. You don't have that center lane. And in like, for example, on some very busy streets in Metairie, on West Esplanade and on Veterans, the canal is in the middle. Okay, so the option is impossible. Okay, you cannot take a left wherever you want, and so that dictates a lot. And in a lot of areas in Orleans Parish, there's the median, but we call it the neutral ground.
Let's take one more before we have to go to our final break of the hour. Caller, you're up. Go ahead.
Yeah, guys. I wanted to expand upon that rude clerk scenario. And I had an incident with a clerk at a convenience store. I went in to buy something. I put it on the counter, and he's carrying on a conversation on his cell phone, and in some foreign language. I'm not sure which one it was, but really doesn't matter. But he keeps talking, and he rings up my product, and then just points to the total on the screen and looks at me and points. So I laid the money out there, and then the man did that, and he took the money, gave me my change or whatever, and then when he never missed a beat on his conversation. And when I got done, I looked at the man and I just waited a second and I looked at him and I said, "Hey." And boy, he put that phone down real quick. He was like, "Oh man, what's up?" And he looked at me. I said, "It was really great talking to you, buddy. Have a nice day."
Good one.
And I think he got the point. I don't know if it made a difference, but I think he got the point.
Yep. But hopefully it changed, but I doubt it. Thanks for the call. We'll be right back here on Offsides. Keep your calls coming in for I Hate Mondays, 232-1542. And welcome back to Offsides, everybody. Shannon Wilkerson, Brandon Comeaux here, wrapping up the last segment of I Hate Mondays, everybody's favorite hour of the week. That's what we do at Offsides. We take the worst day of the week and we exploit it. And we try to get as many people to call in and let us know what they have on their mind that's aggravating them, that they hate about Monday or any other day. So let's go to the phone line and see what they want to add.
All right, caller, you are up. Go ahead.
You know, there are opportunities where there is a chance for you to make a left turn. What annoys me and what I hate is when people just refuse to let you do it.
Oh, yeah.
Or refuse to let you wander. You know, it's okay. Say you're driving now and you want to wander from one lane to the other, right? And you got your turn signal on. And they just refuse to let you in.
Oh,
just just the discourteousness of drivers these days. I mean, I was like Bertrand right there when you come out of that parking lot at Bertrand. And so you have the red light at Johnson Street right there. You with me?
Mm-hmm. The red light, Bertrand and Johnson Street. Okay, yeah.
Bertrand and Johnson, you end up coming out of that parking lot right there. So I need to take a left. And it's amazing sometimes how, some people get it. Like there's 2 lanes of traffic coming. One person will get it, and the other person just won't. And they'll wander in front of you while you're sitting there, when they could have stopped. If they had stopped just, 10 feet, more, you could have went ahead and wandered out there and taken your left turn,
Yeah. No, I can't stand it. I know exactly what you're talking about, and people that just won't let you in, or just so they can get one person, one position closer in traffic to getting home.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
come on, you're talking about what, 15, 20 feet? You're going to get home 15, 20 feet faster.
Every time somebody lets me in, I give them remember the Rodney Dangerfield joke? I just want a little one of these, and he would wave at him through the rearview mirror,
Oh, yeah. I always wave to people. I don't.
Me too.
I just wave, raise my hand up so they can see me. I don't turn around or anything like that. But
you know what I hate is when you let somebody in and they don't give you the wave, they don't give you any acknowledgement or any thanks.
Yeah, I know. It annoys me. There's no way in, because I always give them the wave, right? I just give them a little one of these, So when you do it for somebody else, and they don't give you
the wave. That's right.
Like, God.
And now I want to get up in front of them and cut them off and get in front of them in traffic.
Yeah, my wife laughs at me sometimes because if I give them a wave coming out, I'll give them another wave once I get settled into the lane, just in case they didn't see my first wave. Because I want them to know I appreciate them letting me jump in, especially when traffic is going at the crazy breakneck pace, which is normal Lafayette traffic.
Yeah, well, you're overdoing it a little bit.
Thank you, caller. All right, 232-54. I just want to make sure that they understand. I've got a lot of gratitude.
You're right.
All right.
A lot of times they'll wave back, and if you don't see the wave back, maybe they didn't see you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, I get it.
232-1542. Caller, you're up. Go ahead.
Hey guys, I have a cashier story for you.
Okay.
I'm in a local Walmart. There's a lady in front of me. The cashier is not working. She's empty. Her station is empty. This woman is on her phone in line. I stay there 3 or 4 minutes. I go around her. I start putting my items on the counter. The cashier tells me I'm waiting on this lady.
Oh, God.
I say, no, you're not. No, you're not. She's on her phone. You're waiting on me. She said, sir, I'm waiting on the lady. I said, well, then I tell you what. Either get the manager out here or we're just going to stand here till we both die. Bottom line is she's on her telephone. You're not waiting on her. Yeah, and That's typical Walmart employees. You know, that's the kind of treatment I get there.
All right, buddy. Thanks for the call.
All right, one more call before we have to go. You're on the air. Go ahead, listener.
Hi. What I hate is people who do not put their carts away in cart corrals that are provided at shopping centers, and they end up running into your vehicle and causing a lot of damage.
No, I hear you. We get that complaint every single week, so it's definitely a common
So
problem.
frustrating. And it's just laziness. Majority of it is laziness. Or when they park it in a handicap spot.
Oh, yeah, that's bad, too.
That's bad. Thanks for the call.
That's happening.
Thank you.
All right, y'all have a good night.
You too. All right, well, that will do it for the show today. Thanks to everyone who participated and listened as well.